Hi guys, what's up and welcome again to this week's episode of Immigrant Life in Germany. And with me today is Ima Basi. Ima, hi, nice to have you here today.
Hi,
How are you doing?
Kelechi.
Okay, so guys, I'm going to let Ima introduce herself right now. So Ima, you're going to tell us who you are, like briefly introduce yourself and, describe a little bit of how your journey has been as an immigrant into Germany and all of that good stuff, as well as basically how you came into Germany, including your educational and career background and all of that.
Wow. Okay. Nice to join you, Kelechi, on your wonderful channel with your amazing listeners. Welcome, everybody. So let's start from the very beginning. I grew up in Nigeria and also in East Africa. And before I came to Germany, I was living and working in Lagos. And then someday, me and my friends, we just put on a bet to apply for everything and anything online to just see if this online thing really works. And so we were on this WhatsApp group, like just sharing information, not sharing prayer links, so sharing information about about where job opportunities, school scholarship opportunities, and so we just started out from there, and boom, one of those things just hit. So I got into Africa Compt Fellowship, and that's how my journey to Germany basically started. So I moved to Germany through the Africa Compt professional platform, and 1 year working in a German company and also studying. I'm studying intercultural management. We had like a lot of programs around Africa Compt, so which included language learning as well as the professional courses. So thereafter, I moved straight into doing my master's for 2 years. So I moved from a work visa to a student visa, kind of like a promotion. But then after that, after my 2 years, 2.5 years of my master's, I moved on, got married, settled down, and here I am. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. Thank you so much, Ima. And Ima forgot to mention that we were classmates at school. Ima, why did you forget that important detail?
That's true. Were you my classmate?
Hello.
Do I know you?
Is it because you finished 1 semester ahead of me?
Yeah, we were classmates, but the overtaking is allowed. So I finished 1 semester.
I know, right? Yeah. Overtaking is actually allowed. All right, nice. No, it doesn't at all. The main thing is that we both finished, we both graduated. That's the obstacle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right, moving on. Regarding challenges and adaptation, we would like to know, like, what were some of the major challenges that you encountered when you first moved to Germany, and how were you able to manage these, overcome these difficulties, adjust to life in Germany generally, and even handle some culture shocks that I know you experienced. Everybody did experience that. So
I have to take a deep breath, because what I'm going to say to you, just bring out your tissues because you're going to cry. Anyway, so how it all started was I after like my work experience I told you about, I got into my master's, but after that, before somewhere in between that, I had to find an accommodation. And that's where all hell broke loose. And I had to start, because Africa Compt pretty much takes care of your accommodation, your city registrations. You're kind of like a princess, when you arrive in Germany. However, once that program finished, I had to fend for myself, go to register myself, do a lot of processes on my own, which I for instance, finding an accommodation that was almost impossible for me to find as a student who wanted to live not really in a student's accommodation, but a normal flat in the city. Even getting people to agree for you to even come and check out the flat was like a serious prayer request. But eventually I was able to settle in with a friend of my, and with with the family of a friend, and that really sorted. That was how it was sorted out. But between that and when the issue happened, it was like 6 months. So in 6 months, I was just living in, like, you know, makeshift. And so that was one of the challenges. The other challenge, of course, was just schooling and working. I was working full time, and I was also schooling full time. How I managed to graduate is just a story of grace, really, because I'm not really the most hardworking person in the room. But I can say that I had to be able to juggle several things at the same time. And yes, a lot of things got burnt in the way. Like, there's definitely going to be an oversight with your academics. Oh, you did not study this one, or you did not, I had semesters where I had not mistakenly not applied to even study certain courses, and I'd finished writing the exam only for me to find out that, wow, you did not register for this course. So it was now me and the school dragging ourselves, like, look, I've written this exam. What do you mean I did not register for this course? So yeah, so a lot of things are going to slip. So because when you're handling a lot of things at the same time, it's definitely one thing has got to suffer. But one thing I did for sure was, I know a lot of people say, I meet a lot of students in Germany. They're like, oh, get into a relationship. No, I'm focused on my study. Get into a job. They're like, no, I'm focused on my studies. Start your business. I'm focused on my studies. When that study finishes, I don't, yeah, I will be desperate, because I tell you, because, you're studying, school life doesn't end in school. In fact, it doesn't even start in school. It doesn't end in school. School is just something you do in between. So if you don't manage the personal life, and also manage your financial life, afterwards, school is going to be done. I've always been someone who works while I was schooling. Even in my first degree, I tend to kind of mix both, and I always do very well in school. So if you know you cannot handle both, please do not take my advice seriously. Before you come back and with your F9 and say, Ima said, I did not say anything. Yeah.
So then how were you able to basically handle any culture shocks that you may have experienced? And did you experience? You must have experienced some, I guess. If yes, could you show them with us and how you're able to manage them?
I don't know. It pretty much comes from my background. So we move cities like every 4 years, 3 to 4 years in my growing up. So I'm very adaptative. So there's never any situation where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. I don't understand it. I'm very quick to adapt to people and to things. So that really helped me. That attitude, that character that I built from inside makes me very easy to switch to a new environment and, get things up and running as quickly as possible. So as for culture shocks, I wouldn't say they're very deep, because I had already schooled in an international school before. So I had friends that were Germans before now. Mm-hmm. So I mean, maybe as a child. So, but I saw more of similarities. So a lot of similarities between the African culture and the German culture. For instance, being very blunt. That's a very Nigerian thing. People will tell you to your face how it is.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think it's a Nigerian thing.
Oh, yes.
Maybe some tribes, but it's not a Nigerian thing, to be very blunt. I think Nigerians are more akin to the English. The Englishman would try to make you not feel so bad about something.
Oh no, I don't think so at all. It's only Nigerians that will tell you your face go and talk transformer.
No. Well, that's like when we're trying to throw bands and everything. But if
Yeah.
we're
I
being
mean,
really realistic, like in the real sense of how the Germans are blunt, they don't like
mhm.
they don't actually give a hoot how it makes you feel. Some Nigerians would make I not just make you nervous, make I just
Well,
do you
I
understand?
mean,
Do you
maybe
understand
I
what I
had a
mean?
different experience because I lived in Lagos. So, Lagos and where I worked, like your boss will tell you to your face. I've had very blunt situation. I've not even experienced this kind of things in Germany. Like, for instance, once my former boss in Nigeria said he wouldn't let me manage something because I didn't have white skin. He said I would only let you manage skin if you have white skin. So, um, things like that. And in fact, yesterday
Sure.
someone posted
The
posted
Nigerian did that
online.
to you.
Yes, my boss, a Yoruba man. So, yes, Nigerians are very blunt, honestly. Maybe you haven't met you're very lucky you've met very sweet, cushly Nigerians, but uh, I've come across some very, very blunt people that say lots of blunt things that make you go to the bathroom and cry. Even though I've never had that crying moment, but there are times where I would go home and think about my life. So yeah, let's not deviate. The thing is, I have not really I see a lot of similarities, um, and I'm very grateful that I actually experienced this bluntness a lot in Nigeria. So when I came here, it was you know it I had a tough skin.
Hmm.
I had a tough skin, and I think Nigerians will do very well in Germany if you've had similar experiences whereby people just look you in the face and say, you know what,
Yeah.
this is not for you, and they say it in a very rude and direct way. And it's up to you to have that tough skin and take it and move on with it. But otherwise, the other aspect of it that I experienced was the honesty. So I think it's not more of like bluntness, but I think it's an extreme kind of honesty whereby people just tell you, excuse me, I don't like the way this and this and this is going, and they're not gonna try to put it in another way. They're just gonna say it as it is, and that's one thing I liked. So in the dating field, like for instance, when you meet people, they won't tell you, "Oh, I want to marry you." Nigerians will say, "I want to marry you." They won't go and see your parents at home, but they just want to have a little good time and go. Uh, but Germans will tell you straight up, like, "I just want to have a good time," and at first you'd be offended by that as someone who nobody's ever said, what do you take me for, but after a while I actually appreciated it when someone says, "Oh, I just want to have a good time," and I'm like, okay, at least thank you for letting me know.
Keep collecting
So I
more.
can run.
Exactly.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
some of the things that we see as actually a disadvantage, some of them, when you actually look deep inside, it's actually a good thing. It's a good thing. And the other thing that I have come to appreciate is Germans are not quick to make friends with you. So people say
Yep.
Germans are cold, um, which is what I like, because before, I mean, where I come from, Lagos, everyone's like, my friend, my friend. The next day, they're already eating in your house. They already moved into your house, and it's
Truth is that, yeah, I
it
totally
took
agree with you on that. Totally.
yeah, it's kind of lonely when you come, like when at first, because it's hard to make friends, it's hard to break into circles, but the way Germans relate is completely different, so it has to be genuine. So the good thing about that is that they take time to make friends, and when they eventually become your friends, they are really loyal, like very, very loyal.
Yeah.
You can't say this is my friend, and then that friend, if something happens, you can't help the person. That's one thing I really appreciate about not being friends. I see it in like American culture. Everybody's like so nice. Oh my gosh, so nice to have you. And then the next moment they don't call you for like 10 years. That was for me a real culture shock. It's just the American thing. Like recently
Yeah.
when we were in the US, a woman, we shared a house with a Black
Oh.
American woman, and she was so nice. She was like, "Oh my gosh, you're the best thing since fried rice." And before we knew it, she was like, "Oh, just go to the supermarket and we could have a barbecue together on the balcony and da da da. And I could make salad and spinach and other things to go with the barbecue. You just go and buy the meat. My son would like fish, would like chicken, sausages, and the other son would like." We went to the supermarket. We bought the sausages. We came home. Now it's time to roast. Roast? Picnic? What picnic?
Eh? What's that? I'm sure she's not bipolar or something. Are you sure she didn't forget what she said?
I experienced that with a lot of Americans, so I don't think it's a bipolar thing. Mm-mm.
That's weird. Like, how do you forget your conversation with someone in space of max an hour or however
Yeah,
long you were gone for? That's crazy.
it happened twice. It happened actually twice. People smile with you and even exchange numbers with you and say, "Oh, let's hang out here," and then you find out they didn't even give you the right number, and Germans wouldn't do that. They would tell
No,
you, "Oh,
no.
I wouldn't."
The
So
few ones that I have in my corner, they are like, it wasn't so. I mean, it's never so easy at first, like to be friends with them, but eventually, like when you're friends with them, it's almost like it's really good. I don't want to say
exactly,
it's life, but then like they say, they're friends with you. I mean, it's the possibility of them friends with you for being friends with you for a very long time is high.
yeah,
So
hmm
far, like, I can totally relate to what you're talking about, and
yeah,
truly, like, in contrast to what we have back home, where people claim, in fact, let's not even go there. Like, to sum everything up, like, I feel like one culture shock, I won't call it really culture shock, but something I've really learned so far here is like learning to compartmentalize my relationships with
yeah,
people. Not everybody's your friend.
yeah.
Not everybody's
Same
your
here.
friend. Some are acquaintances, some are colleagues, some are friends. So
And your
really
colleagues
knowing
are
who.
not your friends. Definitely, don't ever make the mistake to say, "Ah, my friend from work." No, 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 no. Your colleague from work. Yeah,
Work
correct
best
that
friend.
English.
All right.
Best friend.
Speaking of, yeah. So speaking of culture and everything, so with regards to cultural enrichment, in what ways would you say that immersing yourself in the German culture has enhanced your experience as an immigrant, both in your career and your everyday life?
I tend not to take people for face value, especially. I tend not to. I tend to be suspicious about every single encounter. I've become a bit more German, and I also tend to be more organized at my work, and also be more thorough, like thorough with everything. So thorough with, investigating everything before it. For instance, investing in things and people, and also being more. Should I say more diligent. So Germans can work very hard, and whatever they are doing, they put their best to it. And so that pretty much kind of rubs off on you. You also want to be your best at your best because the culture demands that from you.
Okay, that's really interesting. So now to the nice part. I'd like to know, have you had, of course, you should have had some memorable experiences. So could you share some of your most memorable experiences, moments, milestones, or wins, basically accomplishments that you've had during your time here in Germany, both personally and professionally?
Wow. That's a long question, but I'm going to give you a very long answer. I'm going to
Okay.
regret asking that question.
Ah, bring it
Okay.
on.
Yeah. So, some of the I've had a lot of it's been the longest 4 or 5 years of my life, ever. First of
Mm.
all, finished my school, and that
Mhm.
was something. Having my master's was something that I really really wanted to do for a very long time. So
Yeah.
being able to tick that off the list, and getting here, I met my spouse like within a few months, and we married, we have a kid, and 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 then we've also traveled a lot. So in the past, let's say in the past 4 or 5 years, been to like 40 countries, almost 40 countries, and
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
yeah.
40.
so,
Oh, that's a
so
lot.
this year alone, we've been to 9 already, and
Hmm.
and so it's just kind of like really throwing ourselves out there, living every single day, making use of every opportunity you have your Schengen visa, you have your German passport, and the world is there at your door. And more
Mm.
so, um a lot of people put off. I think I should leave this for the advice part, but I could still say it here, is that a lot of people put their best life for when they retire, or for some other time in their life when they have all the money. Honestly, some of these trips, I know how stressed out I am. I'm in my mid 30s, and I'm telling you, I don't think this is the kind of stress I want to go through in my 40s, So live your life. Yes, there's time for saving money, and there's time for investing, but put out some flex money aside. I know when I
Yeah.
came here, I met most of my friends that lived in Germany for years. They didn't leave Germany. They were all
See, when I see
living
people
there
telling me that
for
they've not
5, 10
traveled
years.
and they've been here for a while, I'm like, eh? Why?
Are hustling. so,
Why?
so don't let the hustle get into your brain,
It's
because
easy.
if you the Bible says that the race is not to the swift. If you can rush to it, but when I remember that at this age, I still have almost 30 years of work life left. In fact, that is more than what I've already worked. So
Oh,
work is not
really?
rushing. I have
Okay,
30 years to
you
save
have
up for
time.
retirement. I have 30 years to,
Time.
you
You
know.
really have time. You really have time because I remember somewhere that I worked previously as a working student, we had people in their 60s, women in their 60s working,
Mm-hmm.
like, and they were obviously living their best lives. So I'm like, why are we even? I mean, just because this thing comes from a place of maybe like when we as women feel like when we have kids, our lives get to be paused and everything. And then I remind myself, if people that are in their 60s, going on 70s, are still working, then I have nothing to worry about. When it's time for me to have my kids and everything and build a family, I can do that without the guilt of, oh, my career is going down the drain or like that. I'm just relating it to what you're saying now about traveling. Like the, I mean, work doesn't end at least until you're old and gray, right? Except you
Yeah.
decide not to do that. But then just find time to travel, really, as much as
Mm-hmm.
possible.
And
I
even if, like, I don't try to preach the same gospel to everyone, because some people, they don't enjoy traveling. If they travel, it's like, what is
actually
this
some people
nonsense?
have phobia. Actually, some people have phobia for traveling. I don't know
Correct. So whatever
why.
it is you like to do, do it. Do it while you're young. If you want to start a business, that's what you find that gives you that adrenaline rush. Do it. Don't like wait and pause and find excuses. One thing Germany does is that it kind of pushes you to that box where it says we're here to work. and pay your pension, and
Yes.
therefore and be serious with your life and push that promotion till you become the manager. And it's like you are put in a box. You don't live your life, all the expressiveness, all the expression that you have inside, all the gifts you have inside. They say don't start a business. This country is not for starting business. Let me just say it how the critics say it, because that's how they, in my ears, that's how they sound. So like, this is what the you hear constantly. No, Germany is a socialist country. You cannot be doing this, or you cannot do that. You should not do this, or should not do that. So I would therefore say, live your life to the fullest. If there's any challenge you face, like, typically, go and find people that have already done what you want to do. Instead of going to find excuses, go and find people that have done what you want to do, have built this kind of success you want to build, and ask them questions, make friends with them, buy them lunch, talk to them, and then they can give you secrets. The secrets are not too far away. I had a mentor for everything, informal mentors for how to get married in Germany. I definitely talk to someone who's already gotten married in Germany, how to get a job, how to, go about things. Ask. You can't be suffering in your own corner and feeling self-pity. It didn't work for me. When I came to Germany, the first thing people said, why did you come here? You should have gone to America. America is better. You see the way you are speaking English. Go to America. I don't know, you just miss your road. I asked them, please take your negativity and get out. I came all the way 6,000 kilometers to Germany. I must make this country work for me. Period.
It's what the out of it.
I don't care. The gate is not open. The gate is not blocked. You can't leave if it's not doing you well. Me, I'm here. I will make it work for me. So you have to come with that sort of mentality, because yes, there are people everywhere in the world that are suffering. Even in America, I see people living, I see everywhere in the world, you see people struggling. But that doesn't have to be you. It doesn't have to be you. Get the knowledge that is required to excel in a country. And for instance, simple things as before studying a course, make sure you know if that course has any market value before
that's
wasting
very
2 years.
important. Yeah, very, very important. But then even if people really do that sort of research and stuff, remember that getting an admission in Germany is solely dependent on your background, especially for all the public schools we have around. Because if you're coming from an engineering background, wanting to switch to the tech background, it's not
impossible. It's just that it takes longer. So I know someone who studied economics just like me. He was in his mid-30s when he came to Germany. He graduated. He went back to do his BSc. He graduated. He's working in tech now.
That's the thing. Like, it takes longer for you to go that route. But then eventually, like someone would say, if you were going to be, someone said, if you had to go to school in 3 years, like, how did they say that thing again? But if you are worried that by the time you start a new program and in a couple of years you'll be X years old, if you still don't do that program, you will still be X years old in these number of years. So why don't you just do it already if that's really what you want to do? So
again, if you really see that you have 30 more years to work in something, you might as well work in the right industry. Otherwise, you will be working. You just want to take the easy way out. The easy way out is, let me just stay with what I know. And then you stay with what you know. Before you know it, 5 years time, your course and you have become irrelevant. So
yeah, true.
Welcome to the new age of
yeah,
being able to be flexible. It's critical.
True that. All right, so we're actually rounding up now, and I would like to know if you have anything to say to our fellow immigrants or people who are still planning to migrate with regards to embracing and integrating into the German culture, and yeah, basically how they could effectively navigate career challenges in a new country. So,
Well, how to navigate yourself in a new country? The first way is one, be observant, listen, observe everything. Don't come here with, I know how to do it. No. Take your time to learn to observe. And number two, and then now position yourself. But number two, most important, don't expect everything to happen for you the way it's happening for other people. Someone got here, got a job in 1 month. You're like, why is my own job taking 2 years? So, or someone got here, got married in a year, and then you're like, me, I've been here for 5 years, not supposed to somebody to say hi to. And it works all out for everybody at different times. I wouldn't say don't put pressure on yourself, because you should, but don't let other people's stories weigh you down. Don't let other people's story be the measuring stick for your own level of success.
yeah,
People back home will say, is it not also that German that Emeka is in? Why is Emeka able to buy his father a car? But that's not you. Yours might take a bit longer. Yours might need some more time. So silence all the noise and close your eyes. Mind your business. Put in all your effort in your business. It doesn't mean that with time everything will come. No, everything doesn't come with time. Everything comes with work, because out of nothing comes nothing. So if you do nothing, you get nothing. So give it time, give it work, give it focus. But before you start, use your eyes, observe things, observe where you can add value, especially around your job or environment or social society, and look at where you can add value, and everything will be okay. I mean, we've been here in Germany for 5 years. We've had to switch our lives several times, from being a student, being out of school, looking for jobs, looking for a house, getting married. This has all been stages in our lives. But I'm so happy that where we come from, it is more or less like you have to take the prize home. So no matter what, no matter how tough it is, we stick in here and we make sure that we keep on pushing. So that's the last thing I would say. Stick into that thing, stick into whatever you're doing, and stay till it materializes.
That's amazing. Thank you very much, Ima. Thank you so much for your insight. I mean, I really hope that this sinks into the heads of everybody watching this right now. Okay, thanks a lot. And do you have a YouTube channel too as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have my YouTube channel, and I think you can share it in the link below in the description.
I'll do that. I'm going to do that. So Ima has a YouTube channel as well. So go through, subscribe, and see the kind of content she does, and be a part of her channel as well. All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching up until this time. If you did, then you're an OG. Thank you. All right, I'm going to be seeing you guys in the next one. Yeah. Till then, be good. Bye.
Bye.